Mama June. Lauryn's husband shows concern for her mental health after Anna's death. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Anna Cardwell's death shook the entire family of Mama June. Though they knew that her cancer was terminal, they felt that things would be fine soon. Hence, none of them ever lost their hope and did everything to save Anna. However, the latter lost her cancer battle and left her family mourning. Amid all this, Pumpkin's husband recently talked about his wife's mental health. He appeared to be really concerned and revealed how devastating it was for Lauryn. What did he reveal? Is she fine now? How is she coping with her sister's death? Mama June. Josh is worried for Lauryn's mental health after Anna's death. Lauryn has dealt with a lot since her childhood. She saw Mama June and dealt with her estrangement. The celeb saw her mother choosing men over her and even had to take therapy because of it. Even after all this, Anna's death was something that was way more traumatizing for Pumpkin in all ways. She saw her sister taking her last breath in front of her eyes. During a recent episode, viewers saw Alfred reflecting on Lauryn's condition. He explained how he has been with the latter for almost 10 years now and has witnessed her dealing with much damage. But the celeb feels that Anna's death was the worst one for his wife. Josh stated that every day he believes that Lauryn will be fine by tomorrow. She will get up, eat something, and be okay. But that tomorrow isn't really coming. Josh revealed that he was doing everything under the sun to cooperate and distract their kids. However, their children need their Mama P back for sure. But that's not all. Pumpkin is clearly scared of how uncertain life is. She confronted Josh about it and discussed how they don't even have a will. Lauryn wondered who would raise her kids if she died one day and made it clear that she didn't want Mama June to do that at all. Mama June. Lauryn opens up about her concerns. Mama June star Lauryn has got a reality check after she saw Anna's death in front of her. She has understood the uncertainty of life and clearly needs her own time to deal with it. The celeb recently opened up about her concerns to the cameras and discussed what was going on in her mind. Lauryn has realized that the table could turn within a blink of an eye. She admitted that it wasn't easy for her to sit here and pick something for her sister's cremation services. The celeb revealed that just after Anna passed away, her entire family started to deal with the repercussions of life. She reflected on how her sister's kids were living away from each other and how she didn't want that to happen to her family at all. Lauryn sighed and admitted, "You're not promised tomorrow. Literally anything could happen." Even Josh agreed. Anna passing at 29 is a very big eye-opener. He admitted that he and Pumpkin don't have their priorities straight and they need to sort things out soon. Keep coming back to TV season and spoilers for the latest Mama June tea. The grief hung heavy in the air like the lingering scent of a storm, impossible to ignore and even harder to escape. For Lauryn Pumpkin Eferd, life after the passing of her sister Anna Chickadee Cardwell was anything but normal. The weight of the tragedy etched itself into every moment of her day, from the restless nights to the way her laughter had grown quieter. And for her husband Joshua Eferd, watching his wife carry a sorrow she couldn't seem to put down had become his own silent heartbreak. Lauryn had always been the firecracker of the family, the one with quick wit, a sharp tongue, and a fierce loyalty that burned brightly for those she loved. But since Anna's death, that spark had started to dim. The vibrant colors of her personality seemed faded, the once fierce woman now walking through life as if her feet were made of lead. Joshua noticed everything. The way she sat on the couch staring into nothingness for long stretches of time. The way she forgot her coffee, only to find it hours later cold and untouched. The quiet tears she thought no one could hear late at night when she thought the kids were asleep. But Joshua heard. He saw it all. And while he gave her space to grieve, the alarm bells in his heart had begun to ring louder with each passing day. Lauryn tried to keep busy, throwing herself into motherhood like a lifeline. With 4 children under the age of 6, there was never a shortage of diapers, messes, or chaos to drown in. But even that couldn't mask her pain. Her movements had become mechanical, her once endless patience thinning into exhaustion. She smiled for the kids, but the smiles never reached her eyes. The house had grown quieter too. Gone were the spontaneous dance parties in the living room. The chaotic energy that made their home feel like a whirlwind of love and noise. Now there was a stillness, a void that no amount of cartoons or toddler giggles could fill. The kids sensed it too. Ella, the oldest, had started asking when Aunt Anna was coming back. Lauryn would hold her daughter close, swallowing the lump in her throat as she whispered gentle lies, trying to shield her from the cruel truth for just a little longer. Anna's death had sent shockwaves through the entire family, but it had struck Lauryn with particular cruelty. They had been through so much together: chaos, fame, dysfunction, redemption. Sisters bonded by more than blood, they were warriors shaped by the same battlefield. Losing Anna felt like losing a part of herself, a limb she could no longer feel but still reached for out of instinct. Joshua's heart broke a little more each time he saw her like this. He tried to be her anchor, taking on more with the kids, cooking dinners, tidying up, managing the errands. He tried to lighten her load so she could breathe, but still, her grief wrapped around her like a second skin. And he knew it was more than just mourning, it was the creeping shadow of depression. He started watching more closely, noticing how often she isolated herself, the way she avoided phone calls, how rarely she looked in the mirror anymore. She had stopped doing her makeup, stopped putting on her favorite music, stopped watching her guilty pleasure shows. The vibrant Lauryn was slipping away, and Joshua refused to let that happen. He began researching grief counseling, quietly bookmarking pages and writing down numbers. He gently brought up the idea of therapy, planting the seed without pressure. But Lauryn brushed it off with a forced smile and a distracted nod. She wasn't ready yet. She couldn't face the storm head-on. Not yet. Still, Joshua didn't give up. He started planning small family outings, hoping to spark some light back into her eyes. A trip to the park, a picnic in the backyard, movie night with the kids. Anything to coax a smile, even a fleeting one. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but he kept trying. One afternoon, he caught her sitting alone in Anna's old room. The door had been closed since the funeral, but that day it stood ajar. Inside, Lauryn sat on the edge of the bed, holding one of Anna's old hoodies to her chest, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Joshua didn't say a word. He simply sat beside her, wrapping his arm around her as she cried. No words, no solutions, just presence. That moment said more than any conversation could. And from that point on, Joshua knew he had to do more than just support her. He had to help her heal, whether she was ready or not. He reached out to June. Their relationship had always been complicated, but in this moment, they were bound by something deeper: love for Anna and for Lauryn. To his surprise, June was receptive. She, too, had noticed the change in Lauryn, and though grief was gnawing at her own heart, she wanted to help. Together, they quietly coordinated efforts, agreeing to be gentle, patient, but persistent. June started visiting more often. Not the chaotic, camera-hungry June, but a quieter, more grounded version. She brought over food, helped with the kids, and even shared stories of Anna that made Lauryn laugh and cry in equal measure. It wasn't a cure, but it was a start. Lauryn eventually agreed to try a support group for siblings dealing with loss. Joshua drove her to the first meeting, holding her hand tightly as they sat in the parking lot for 10 minutes before she finally got out of the car. When she came back, her eyes were swollen, but there was a strange calmness about her, like she had exhaled for the first time in weeks. Healing didn't come quickly, and it certainly didn't come easily. There were setbacks. Days when the grief knocked her breathless, nights when the pain returned like a flood. But now she wasn't drowning alone. Joshua was there, always steady, always patient. He didn't need her to be okay overnight. He just needed her to know she wasn't alone. The kids helped too. Little things like a finger painting made by Bentley or a lopsided pancake shaped like a heart made by Ella began to chip away at the wall Lauryn had built around herself. Slowly, the color started returning to her world. The music crept back into the house, laughter returned in brief bursts, and Lauryn started finding herself again, different, scared, but still standing. Joshua remained her quiet warrior, never asking for credit, never needing praise. His only goal was to see his wife smile again, to see the glimmer of strength and joy in her eyes that he had fallen in love with. And one day, as they sat on the porch watching the kids chase Bubbles in the yard, Lauryn reached over, took his hand, and rested her head on his shoulder. It was the smallest gesture, but to Joshua, it felt like the sun breaking through the clouds.